Hi Artcam users, so I'm going to do this quick tutorial showing you how to export Artcams out of Rhino and how you can use Rhino as the sweep tool yet keep Artcam as the vector drawing tool, because I know for those who start learning Rhino the drawing tools are very daunting and it takes a while to learn them. Eventually you will stop using Artcam drawing tools and you will stay in Rhino. So in the meantime, to help you, let's go ahead and create this ring inside Artcam. So let's go to a new project and we're going to go to a 3x shank from the side, this one here, create a 3x blank, size 6 is fine. The bottom of the shank I want to be 1.7 and let's accept that. Alright, so the distance between these two lines here are 1.7, which is fine. I'm just going to quickly bring up a diamond shape that I have. And I'm going to go to T for transform. And keeping them locked, I'm going to enter a width of 7.5. Apply, cancel. Alright. Using the up arrow, I just get it to the position that I want it to be. Alright, so now we need to start to draw the bezel that goes around the stone, and then we'll do the shank. Alright, so to draw the bezel, we're just going to draw a square, the thickest you want the bezel to be. Let's make the bezel 1.1 thick. Create. And then I'm going to transform the angle that I want it to be, and I'm just going to move it using the arrow keys into its position. Alright, so let's go into node editing and let's turn this to a bezier. Let's just give it a little bit of style, and that should be fine as a bezel, although you can insert a point here. You can just bring this point just a little bit in like that. Alright, so there's a bezel that will hold the center stone. The bezel needs to be longer than the actual stone. So that will do a rail revolve all the way around. So let's draw the vector itself. Let's draw the actual ring shank now. So we can use this, copy paste. We're going to insert a point somewhere around here. Just pressing I on the keyboard. Select that and drag it up to the height you want it to be. Get a little bit of a swoop. Press the up arrow and let's say we're happy with that. And let's move this vector there down to there. Let's make this a straight line by pressing L on the keyboard for line. And we are almost done. So we're going to remove this section here, highlight with the mouse, press R again, bring up the vector mirror tools and go right. Last but not least, let's join these. So let's close vectors with a line, so that's a complete drawing. Okay, so last but not least, that is touching that, that's good. So now let's draw a shank. Let's say the shank is going to be, let's say 3 millimeters wide. Create, close, and F9 will put it in the center, and the arrow keys will bring it down, and then let's just insert a midpoint. Mid, pressing M on the keyboard, mid, mid and delete the ends. Delete that end, delete that end. Okay, so we've got a tapered shank. Use the up arrows. Alright, so this is what the tapered shank from the side view would look like. That's just this shank here. Oops, this is a bit high here, so let's grab this and bring it down so it's more in height of this area here. Bring it down a little bit more. Alright, so that's slightly higher than this here. I get a little bit more accurate, bring down a guideline, and alright, it needs to be just slightly higher than the shank. Alright, so this is all the vectors we really need. Okay, we've got the tape of our shank, we've got the shape of our shank, and we've got the bezel. Okay, here's the bezel. Alright, so we're going to export these. We're just going to draw a large circle around the outside. Make sure you press F9 to put in the center. And then we're going to select, copy paste the inside vector. So we've got a ring finger size hole. Alright, so we need the ring finger size hole, shift, the shank, the bezel, the tapered shank, and the outside circle. You can group them all together. Right click group, and now you can go vector, export EPS, ring 1 EPS, save it. Alright, from here we go into Rhino now. We finished the drawing in Artcam, and we can go into a new stones we do not need, so I'm going to delete them in this case. I'm going to go File, Import, Ring 1, Import 1 inch in PDF is 1 Rhino unit is good. Go to the perspective view. So the difference between Artcam and Rhino is the green arrow is the ring finger hole and the red arrow is not. That's basically the only difference. So if the green is the ring finger hole, we need to rotate it. This whole thing has to rotate anti-clockwise. This is the axis we need to rotate around. So we click this axis, enter 90, and press enter. Alright, so that's now in its rightful spot. If you go back to perspective, you can see they're starting to line up in the right viewpoints. And go back to perspective, and this needs to turn 90 degrees on itself. So highlighting this and this, we're going to rotate this 90 degrees around the blue. We're going to press enter, and that is in its rightful place. Click the outside circle and delete it. Alright, so now we're going to go to rail revolve. So we're going to go to this line, and it sits right here under this icon right there. The revolve tool is right there. So you're going to left click. Start of axis is 0, 0, 0. So I'm going to enter 0 on the keyboard, type 0 in the command line, and press enter. Okay. It then says, what axis do you want to go on? I want to go in the right viewpoint. I want to say revolve around this axis here. So it's around this point, holding shift to constrain it. And then I'm going to press enter once and enter twice. Okay, go to view, shaded, and you can see you now have, go back to our perspective view, we now have a bezel. Okay, so we're going to trim the bottom of the bezel away. I'm going to highlight the ring rail, and using this bump, this little ball in the middle, I'm going to click the ball, drag it out, and highlight this surface, move it in, and now I can use the surface to cut the bottom of this bezel away. So to do that is Boolean difference. I select the part I want to keep, highlight it, press enter, the cutting surface, press enter, and we now have the bezel. Alright, so now we're going to extrude the shank. So we're going to select that, shift and that. Actually, let's just do the outside because this comes down past the inside. So let's grab the outside and let's go back to this tool. This time we're going to use a different tool. This one right there, extrude straight. Okay, you can see it extrudes straight, but let's look at the command line. It said let's do both sides, yes, but let's make it a solid yes. And we're going to extrude it both sides. We want it to finish 3. So let's go 1.5. Each side will give us 3. Press enter and we are done. Okay, so to see our ring rail, we're going to go to rendered or ghosted. We can now select the ring rail, use the green dot again, extrude it out, grab the surface, extrude it back in again using this green arrow on the end, move it in. Alright, so now we have 2 surfaces that we can look at again. So we're going to go to, once again, Boolean difference. Shank is what we want to keep, highlight it, press enter. Surface we're going to need to cut it away, press enter again. Alright, the last thing to do is to take this shape that's right now and to cut our shank. So we're going to grab this shape, grab the ball on the arrow, extrude it all the way out. Let's just bring it all the way out. Select it, select the surface, bring it in. Alright, and now we want the difference. We want the intersection of these two. In other words, if you look through this view, we want what's inside the shape to remain. So that's the intersection. So Boolean difference or intersection. So you have to select the 2 surfaces. Select the outside surface, press enter. Select the shank, press enter, and now we have the difference from inside. And there we go. So that is how you use Artcam vectors, import them into Rhino, and use Rhino to create smooth sweeps. Alright, I hope you enjoyed this video. See you again later. Cheers, bye.